North London derailed, Manchester teams back on track, and Liverpool just being Liverpool. Hi and welcome to All Balls, a show that keeps you up to date with all the Premier League action and fantasy football tips. I have with me a very sad Carl Lewis, nearing in on Christmas, only at home.
It's Groundhog Day for Arsenal fans, unfortunately. That's why I'm wearing my Arsenal pants, because I'm keeping the emblem closer to my butt.
It's not seen.
So, yeah.
But moving away from, Arsenal, coming to Liverpool,
Yeah.
7-0, biggest away win, Palace's biggest home loss.
Yeah.
I mean, it was coming. The chances were piling up, and the goals finally, like Jordan Henderson said, everything just went in.
Take nothing away from Crystal Palace. It's not like they were a man down or something like that. They gave their all, but you can just clearly see the difference in quality between Liverpool and Palace.
Because there wasn't a single goal which Goeta could save. I didn't see any, none of the goals were savable according to me.
Well, considering his heroics in the last game against Tottenham, you would expect he would be a little bit more on form.
But it was not even close to him.
Nothing close.
Mane is back, in the goals. Firmino, after that drought, is now catching up. He's got 3 goals in his last 2 games. And Andy Robertson.
True. But coming back to Firmino, I mean, we were just discussing earlier, like, he's kind of like this focal point. He doesn't get a lot of credit for what he does half the time, because everyone says, okay, yeah, he had a 20-match streak, he didn't score enough and stuff. Now the floodgates have opened, but again, it's his link-up play and his hold-up play that kind of allows people like Salah's and Mane's to thrive. And they get goals in through that. And Robertson is in level with Kevin De Bruyne.
Because the greatest managers across the globe have said that Roberto Firmino is a striker we would want.
Yeah.
His numbers do not do justice to...
Work rate.
Yeah,
Impressive.
It's the work rate and it's just his movement, creating space.
Yeah.
And he comes off with a smile.
Yeah.
With the whole Sadio Mane frown while he was taken off. Whereas you'll never see Roberto Firmino frowning or not being unhappy because he trusts his manager.
You can just define that as 2 very different personalities. Like Roberto Firmino is kind of the guy who keeps the team going together. Like he wants a team to do better. While a guy like Mane or even Salah for that matter, those guys strive for perfection on themselves. They just want to be hungry. They just want to keep scoring. I mean, if Mane even scored 4 goals in that game or 5 goals in that game, he'd still be disappointed if he was being taken off in the 67 minutes. So this is just a difference in mentality. Like Firmino's just happy to be there. Like he says, like, okay, fine, I scored, gave an assist. Everything's hunky-dory, like everyone else kick it in if they have to. But people like Mane and Salah are of a different level, just of a different elk. They're just hungry constantly.
Speaking of Mane frowning, going off, Salah coming on for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
FPL managers were like, crap, he's on the bench. I've captained him. We on our page, in fact, said that, Salah's a safe captain bet. And we were like, good lord, he's on the bench. But what was that?
Again, it's a total blitzkrieg.
30 minutes, 2 goals, an assist. And
he bailed me out for my FPL.
He's bailed everyone out.
Like, he's bailed everyone out. Like,
he's probably bailed Arsenal players out in the FPL.
Pretty much. And side note, I don't have any Arsenal players right now in my squad except for Aubameyang, and he didn't play. But we'll get to that. But still, with Salah coming in, you can just see again the quality of players that they have. It's fantastic.
And goal of the season
someone
contender.
like that, and it would be, pretty much I would say goal of the season. Him and Madison's. I like Madison's curler also as well.
No, but this one was like another level.
Yeah, but it's Salah. I mean, you would expect something coming from a guy like Salah. You would expect things coming from great players like him. He's just top quality. And again, he's another hungry guy like Mane. So, yeah.
And Minamino finally coming off, coming out of the fridge, getting all the frosting off him, finally playing and getting his goal.
Well, he's the 7th Japanese player in the Premier League to score. And out of the 7, 3 were champions. One was Shinji Kagawa and the other one was Okazaki for Leicester. So he's drawn a very illustrious list of players. And
it also shows Liverpool's squad depth.
Yeah.
They have great squad depth, that they have players like Minamino who can come on and just kill the game. And nothing from Palace's side, honestly, to talk about.
And I think it's down to even scouting and recognizing a player, because I think it was Minamino when he was playing for Leipzig, or it was...
he beat Van Dijk after some 79
attempts.
Yeah,
like he literally teared Liverpool a new arsehole, like in that whole thing. So you could see there was clearly talent, and Klopp was probably saying like, we need that kind of guy.
You cut Van Dijk, I'm buying you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess it's a rite of passage. So yeah, that's good.
So I mean, big win, for Liverpool.
Very big win.
6 points clear of Spurs, who were their direct rivals.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they'll pick on. I mean, not hopefully. Liverpool's going to pick on with Alexander-Arnold and Robertson now back. Their defensive line looking better.
True.
So good times ahead for Liverpool fans if they weren't.
They are like a juggernaut. They're gaining momentum. So the more momentum they get, I think, as you said, now Robertson is providing the assist. Now you just need Alexander-Arnold to get form and probably get a few run of games. Imagine those two guys bombing again like last season.
So beware, Premier League.
Yeah. Well, it's not gone very well at the St. Mary's Stadium with Southampton ending their 10-match streak, unbeaten streak, thanks to a 1-0 loss to Man City. Kevin De Bruyne again carrying the team on his shoulders. Man City not getting any clear chances in scoring that
Numbers speak for themselves. He's involved in 9 out of 11.
Yeah.
The first player to create 40 plus chances in the Premier League this season.
Pretty much.
And they still have 1 goal.
Yeah.
It's a different city. Like, who would imagine a Manchester City would take the ball to the corner in the last 4 or 5 minutes of a game to see it out?
Well, it's also probably that they wanted to play safe. You could also see that.
Yeah, but it's City, it's Pep. You saw the chances Mahrez had.
It is City and Pep, and it's also Mahrez, and yeah, they had good chances. Rodri also had a really good chance as well in the game, but it's unfortunate that no one has probably the guts to take those shots. Because even if you look at a guy like Raheem Sterling, who's good, but the guy has not evolved his game.
I hate him.
I know people hate him, but he's a good player. But now people have found out as to how he plays. Like, they know he's a very silky operator.
No, they know you breathe on him and he'll fall. So you hold your breath around him. I hate the guy.
Yeah, but
he appeals for everything. He falls down for everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's second to God because he thinks all his decisions are right.
But at this point,
is very annoying.
But at this point, if Kevin De Bruyne is looking for an avenue, that's his only avenue right now.
But Aguero's on the... I don't like... While, City is getting the points, I understand. But Aguero's on the bench. Jesus is on the bench.
Yeah.
You're starting Torres out of position again. Which is what is very confusing because you have 2 strikers, 2 out-and-out strikers, proven goal scorers sitting on the bench, and you're playing a winger, out of position as a striker.
You also have to look at the tactics of Guardiola and where you're playing also a free-flowing Southampton
But your top scorer is also sitting on the bench.
He's also sitting, but he's probably got him on the bench for a reason as well. They've got a big run of games as well. They've got the Champions League to play for.
He's been rested last game as well.
Yeah, but you know what Aguero's like when he's unchained.
No. Aguero, yes, but even Mahrez. Yeah. Mahrez has been rested for the last 2 games for some odd reason. Why I'm even more annoyed is because he's in my FPL team.
True. That I have no answer for, but I just think that Guardiola went in with a tactic thinking that, okay, fine, you have people like Ings, you have people like Ward-Prowse and Che Adams, who again also was really good. He was denied by Edison. But yeah, you have good quality attacks coming in Southampton, so he probably had to play it safe at some point. And again, for Ruben Diaz, a guy who's playing his first season in the Premier League, he's adjusting. He's still adjusting.
He's very sound at the back.
But again, he's again not coming up across top quality attack. Not yet. Maybe the Manchester derby. But besides that, he is still adjusting, still growing into the game. So I think this was probably Pep Guardiola's version of probably just throwing him in there saying, okay, fine, they're going to come at you, especially people like Danny Ings, and you just need to give us a solid performance. Leave the rest to Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling and the rest, even though Ferran Torres was kind of he looked like a deer in the headlights, if you ask me, in that game.
He's out of position. And
he's out of position.
It's a different city.
I think it's Guardiola trying to recreate that false nine that he had at Barcelona, but I just don't think he's got the right ingredients. He's got that focal point with Kevin De Bruyne, but there's just no one to reach out.
There has to be more around him for City to
like you had Xavi. Yeah, you had Xavi, and then you had Iniesta, you had Messi, you had people to give it around. But right now, Kevin De Bruyne is just standing there thinking like, yeah, I only have Sterling, and now people are just standing in front of him. So I have to find someone else.
But the other side of City's game is good. They're keeping clean sheets.
Yeah.
And Southampton losing Danny Ings again through injury.
True. Yeah.
Ryan Bertrand and Redmond, not having their best game, probably linking. They usually link up very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad game for Southampton. 1-0 to City is not a bad result. They're still up there on the table.
Not at all.
And coming back to quality strikers, do not forget there is an Arsenal game, so stop taking pot shots at me in other games.
Sorry.
Everton see another victory and Arsenal see another
L.
For
losing, obviously, for losing.
What's going on? Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of yelling out your shitty stats. I'm tired of telling you have nothing through the center. Y'all should be tired of telling me about Aubameyang.
I think we discussed this last time again. I think there's just a few bad apples now in this team because I don't hold Arteta responsible for this. It's a few. I think it's just a lack of motivation, a lack of drive. There's just, you can see that there are a handful of players who are there who really want to make it work. You can see people like Tierney and Saka who really want to make it work, but they're not as a cohesive unit. They're just not gelling. There's no harmony.
Yeah, and what
There are just people like Willian who had zero contribution.
I don't know, where was he playing? I really want to know where he was playing.
I have no clue. He's agent.
There was
Willian.
Pepe on one side, there was Saka on one side,
Yeah.
and Nketiah was, through the centre. Where was Willian playing?
That's another thing which I would really like to
playing
point
at
out
Highbury.
to. Yeah, I know. I could like to point out to even Arteta, like you have a proven striker like Lacazette, and you're starting off with someone like Nketiah. Not that Nketiah
He's your
is
top
bad.
goal scorer, by the way.
Yeah, not that Nketiah is bad, and you would think for a guy like him in a game against Everton, he would up his game. However, if you know it's not working, bring in Lacazette. If you have to play them in tandem, for all I care, play them in tandem if you have to. But you have to have, if you have a good quality striker like Lacazette, you can't just leave him warming the bench after that.
It's just bad positioning. I mean, see, you've gone 7 games
Yeah,
winless. The
it's
team worse than you is
Sheffield.
with 2 points,
Yeah,
or
I
1
know.
point.
Look, sometimes you're the pigeon, sometimes you're the statue. Unfortunately, Arsenal has been the statue for quite some time.
Well,
now,
worse
so-
than a statue. A statue at least is good to look at.
Yeah, not depending on which pigeon is sitting on it, but yeah, like it
Like
is-
pigeons take dumps that are heavier than Arsenal's gameplay.
Yeah, again, I'm trying to give you the metaphor of pigeons and statues
like,
right now.
yeah,
so-
no, but I'm just saying Arteta, yes, I don't want to blame him. I
Yeah.
agree with you, where he is, I would still say that yes, he has his tactics in
Yeah.
place. He just doesn't have the players to execute them. Okay.
Absolutely.
But then these decisions of leaving Lacazette on the bench, these are managers' decisions.
These are managers.
These are not
I question
tactical.
that. No, I
Yeah,
question that as well as an
So
Arsenal fan.
somewhere
I'll
you
just
have
use
to
the
blame
same.
him.
I
And then
don't
David
know.
Luiz again. Like what positional sense, zero.
See, the David Lewis thing, I think, like we were also discussing that, is that I feel that a guy like David Lewis now, apparently there's rumors that he and Arteta are not getting along now. And if history serves right, Lewis and Willian were kind of like the people who weren't getting along with Mourinho on his second term and with Sarri as well. Now, if you're talking about bad apples, you can clearly see 2 examples right there. Again, these are just rumors, though. It's just speculation. But if it is true, it is true. It is possible. But again, now we're kind of like stripped down to bare minimum. Aubameyang's also kind of got a bit of a niggle, so we don't know whether he'll start.
Not
the
even
next
bare
game.
minimum. Stripped down, clothes are gone, skin is coming out.
Pretty much. But I still would trust the process. I
But
would
no,
still give
it's-
Arteta the benefit
I
of the doubt.
agree with the process and everything like that, but it's just basic gameplay is what is honestly upsetting me.
Yeah.
Because positional sense, you have Yerry Mina.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's taller than my ego right now. But how can you leave him unmarked? How can you let him have a free run at the near post?
When you have a guy like Yerry Mina, who is probably the biggest player on the pitch, and probably Arsenal's biggest player is Rob Holding at that point in terms of size, of course it's going to be a struggle.
No,
It's
but
hard to
run
keep
with
people.
him, no? Put him
No,
off.
but where have you ever heard of an Arsenal side that has been physically imposing?
I've
Not
never heard of an
physically
Arsenal
invincible.
side, 14 games, 14 points also.
Yeah, I know, but again, they've not been physically imposing, and that's another thing we're
But
missing.
physically, mentally, passing, Arsenal's struggling to keep the ball. It's just position and keeping the ball. You associate an Arsenal side with, beautiful football,
Yeah.
keeping the ball,
Yeah.
creating play. I can only see Saka taking on players.
Pretty much.
And he's probably one of your newest recruits, but he looks like one of your best players.
Yeah, but again, as I told you, like I don't know whether they need group therapy or they need like a motivational speaker coming to their coaching sessions every day. But there's just a lack of drive and motivation,
And Everton
it's
on the
hurting
other
the club and the fans, and it's kind of it's getting toxic in a way where I'm also kind of losing my patience. But again, I'm not losing it on Arteta. I'm still holding the players responsible. If there's anyone who's going to have to pick this team up, it has to be the players on the pitch. And honestly, if they don't really want to be there and they're just nicking a paycheck, get out, leave. No one's holding a gun to your head to say, no, you're doing a job, go do it, and like give 50% instead, which is stupid.
But Everton take nothing away.
No, take nothing away from Everton, but I was always expecting this from a team like
Calvert
Everton.
Lewin running circles around your
Yeah,
defense.
true.
Richarlison probably.
And what luck they didn't have Allen. Imagine if they had Allen, that's it.
They had
Game
Iwobi.
over. Yeah, well, again, ex-Arsenal players come to haunt us again. Last time we had Walcott and now we have Iwobi. And that guy never did nothing when he was in Arsenal. He was horrible. We were abusing him half the time because he had no end product. And suddenly ups his game against Everton. So it is frustrating as an Arsenal fan, and I'm sure all Arsenal fans also watching at home are getting annoyed. But now you also tell me, do you think with the current crop of managers that are there, you have what? Pochettino and Allegri. That's it. who are probably available. You don't have anyone else. I would love Julian Nagelsmann, but he's not a guy who's won anything
You
yet.
want Wenger back or?
Why? It's a step back. No, it's a step back. Would you like Alex Ferguson back?
Oh, for sure.
At his capacity now?
No, not
At
now.
his age?
He'll still do better than Ole. I give it to you in writing.
You think
But
so?
enough about United, enough about Arsenal's managers. Ancelotti, big 9 points. Arsenal, Chelsea, Leicester.
Yeah. Again, they're going for Europe, and Ancelotti's definitely got his eye on Europe, so he's going to just have to get this consistent results on and on and on over again. And surprisingly, even though without a James Rodriguez in their team, they're still churning out the wins. So kudos to Everton.
And, you see Arsenal getting better from this in the next game, or is it just a bad Christmas?
Our next game is against Chelsea, so I mean, considering how Chelsea's
Enough
misfiring-
said, Olivier Giroud, Grace.
We'll have to just see. I mean, it's just Groundhog Day for every Arsenal fan. I think
You'll
right
see,
now.
I'm not watching, I'm bored. Newcastle versus Fulham at the home of Santiago Muniz. 1 goal each. Callum Wilson back on the scoring sheet. Fulham with a red card. Lookman coming close. 90 minutes of my life wasted.
I don't know what's more depressing, that you actually watched the goal movie or you're talking about this game. Like Santiago Muniz, who comes up with this stuff. Like.
Muniz!
Yeah, no, it was pretty a drab game. It was a draw, but I think the highlight was Anderson's direct card on Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson again coming on the score sheet, doing this job for Newcastle. So they again get a point, which is great. But yeah, Newcastle is also another team that's in free fall when it comes to at least the COVID-19 situation.
Yeah, exactly. I was
for
just
them.
going to come to it. What would get worse is, their 2 top players are
Yeah,
out.
imagine
Hopefully they're back soon.
Almiron or what's his name? Callum Wilson go in a bubble, then yeah, Newcastle literally again stripped to bare bits.
I mean, yeah, Steve Bruce is going to come on.
Pretty much.
Screw this shit, my time.
Yeah. I'll
But
do
no,
it myself, like Thanos.
But then it's going to be Muniz.
No, I don't think so. I think they got Almiron that way, so at least he's
They
more talented.
look similar.
Yeah, but it was a
Fair
good game.
result?
Fair result, pretty fair result. You would expect it on a neutral point of view that Fulham and Newcastle played for that kind of a game, and especially with Fulham 10 men. Yeah, they kind of played it out thinking that, yeah, we just need a point now. Let's just keep it to that. And yeah, full marks. Newcastle didn't try hard enough, but Fulham kept that resolve.
So good point for Newcastle with Muniz on the bench.
Yeah. So it's all level between Brighton and Sheffield in a pretty drab game, which also had Sheffield go down to 10 men and hanging to their life. And speaking about ex-Arsenal players again coming to haunt us, Danny Welbeck.
Ex-United player also. I don't give a
Ex-United
shit
player
about
also,
him.
yeah. But it was a pretty boring game.
He got them a point. I think Sheffield, I saw part of that game.
Yeah.
Sheffield played well with 10 men.
Yeah.
Lunchtime, obviously, moment of madness.
Yeah, he had a
Straight
brain
red.
fart.
Yeah,
pretty
it was
much.
Straight
like, it
red,
was
no
straight red,
arguments.
so-
VAR finally,
Yeah.
doing what VAR is supposed to do. But Sheffield, last couple of games, have not been playing badly.
Yeah.
Against United also, they gave us the scare. In fact, they went 1-0 up there as well.
Yeah.
With 10 men, they played better, which might be a worry for Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
But I think there's nothing saving them.
But what do you think is missing for this? Because I mean, last season they had a wonderful
It's
fairy tale
pace.
run.
It's purely pace.
But they have people like Ryan Brewster and
Yeah, but he starts on the bench. Burke is fast in the front, but he doesn't have finishing.
Yeah.
They're probably missing McBurney.
Yeah.
That
Do you
aerial
think
presence.
that they're also missing like heart? Because like Billy Sharp is the heart and soul of that team, even though he plays a big part. But
They have the players, the big players. They have Baldock in there. And they have Egan, they have Berger in the middle.
And
So
the
they
Stevens,
have the physicality, they don't have the pace, and clearly they don't have the confidence.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're going to continue to do this because the management has said that even if Sheffield's points remain the same, our manager is going to remain.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to lose for him. I feel they're already starting to play party poopers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but would you also boil it down to the goalkeeper? Because I mean, like the last season they had Henderson, who was fantastic for them between the sticks, and then you have a guy like Ramsdale who's come from a relegated team
Exactly.
like
So that just tells you a lot about
It
what
confines
is
them
going to
even more.
exactly.
Fair enough.
So yeah, they're probably going to go out and Danny Welbeck is going to score his 3rd goal from inside the box. He's got 2.
Yeah.
So,
Good kudos to Danny Welbeck.
no, are you mad? The best team loses at home.
Finally.
Finally, what? They lost last time also.
Spurs will win the title.
Dunia ko badalne chala tha. Bloody nonsense.
Give credit to Brendan Rodgers though, because he
Give
played
everything to
he
Brendan
played
Rodgers.
Mourinho's football against Mourinho. Like they have lesser possession, but yet they had more shots. And
more goals.
Yeah, and Mourinho's the kind of guy who'll always say, oh yeah, they can have the
Keep the
possession,
ball,
keep the
I
idea,
will
and
keep the goals.
Yeah, they
The
can keep the
points.
ball, I'll take the 3 points home. Well, the joke's on him. Like they gave them a taste of their own medicine. It's saddening that a guy like Alderweireld, who I consider as probably their best defender in the team, had to score an own goal. But Maddison though, that VAR kind of offside goal
Yeah, that was shit.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was a bad decision. I wouldn't say that. I don't know how VAR does these things, honestly. Like, how do they sleep at night when they come with decisions like this?
Same. How you all play football, no like that. Same concept.
No, but again, Jamie Vardy also getting onto the score sheet. The man has scored 11 goals this season.
5
6
penalties.
6 penalties
Six
and 5 from
penalties.
open play. The boy's on fire. He's having a party. Chat should get
And
banged.
you all are not having a party.
That's fine, we're not having a party. But again, you would never expect a team like Leicester taking on a game like Tottenham, especially with the form Tottenham's in. You would at least think like with the likes of Kane and Son, they would put up a fight. But Leicester was resilient. Sorry.
But what about
challenge.
Spurs? Top 2 battle, and
Yeah.
now they're below the team that they beat 6-1.
It's still early days for the Premier League. Again,
Yeah, but they're falling, right?
yeah, they're not falling. I think they're still okay. Again, trying to figure out what is Mourinho's tactics half the time, because either he's playing anti-football or he's just parking the bus. I really don't know what he's doing. You have to allow players like Son and Kane to thrive. You can't. Okay, yes, in modern football now, you have to have everyone running back to defend, which is fine. But you also have to. You can't restrict players of quality like Son and Kane when you play against a team like Leicester. You have to also throw it back at them. And when you have another flop like Gareth Bale on your bench, who's just warming the bench half the time and probably day drinking also quietly, who knows? Yeah, he could be just that. He could be just be on the golf course, but no one's actually addressing that problem.
I was just
Why
about to come
Mourinho's
to
not
that,
playing
you know,
him?
like, hi, I'm Rahul Bale, and where is Gareth Bale?
Where is Gareth Bale?
Where is Gareth Bale? 45 minutes after so long, and
No, and we talk a lot about players who nick a living. This guy's literally just making hundreds and thousands of pounds sitting on the bench. Like you would think that he's got a plan for him to play maybe in the Europa
I
League.
think it's a North London team problem.
I think so.
Like
Maybe
keep
it's
paying,
like
paying players.
There's something
and just
different
like,
in the water. North London, God knows what they are applying them. But again, I think Gareth Bale has just come for a holiday. He's probably more practicing on his golf stroke
all
than
the
he's worried
hype
about his
and
fitness.
it's all gone, right? The hype and stuff after that one winner he had.
No, there's still a player in Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale's top quality. I mean, he's the only British player
But
to
is
win
the
the Champions League
attitude
3
the
times.
same?
I'm sure the attitude is the same.
Is the mentality the same when he left?
I'm pretty sure as
Is
well.
this that same Gareth Bale mentality which took on an Inter Milan side at the San Siro and scored a damn hat-trick?
Yeah, I'm still sure that
In
there
what,
is a baller
5
in him.
minutes?
Yeah, there is a baller in him, but I
Right.
just think he's also probably either maybe there's a rift between him and Mourinho. We don't know about that.
Yeah, but even if there's a rift, you know, he's come on. Where is that player who at one time took Lucio and Maicon to the cleaners?
that was a
He
player.
can't get a touch of the ball correctly.
No, but that was a player back then who was blooming like a flower. Like at that point, he was young, he was energetic. Okay, yeah, the years have passed. He's gotten a bit older, but the hunger is still there. I just think that he's not gotten up to proper match
That
fitness.
hunger
and I
doesn't
blame,
look-
yeah, and I blame Mourinho because when you have a player like that, such quality coming from a club like Real Madrid with the pedigree that he has, you would expect him to play every week. He needs to get match fit. He needs to keep playing on a regular basis to actually find that form. You can't sporadically play him like, oh, 2 weeks off, 1 game. 3 weeks off, 1 game. While like he's enjoying playing golf in the end. For him, he doesn't care.
But then that counts as a player's attitude as well.
As well, of course, it's a very nonchalant attitude. But hey, if I was making 550,000 a week, like I wouldn't care.
These North London fans and their
I
players.
don't know whether it's North London. I mean, I don't know whether it's 550,000, but it's a big amount of money that he's making. So yeah,
Give little, no?
quarter would be great. On the terms of day drinking and depression, here comes Man United versus. Look at you, you're already excited.
Of course.
Well, 6-2, Man United. They played really well against Leeds.
Of course they did.
Thoughts?
Ole finally got his tactics right.
Yeah.
I do not consider him a tactical manager, but he got it right.
Yeah.
And I mean, the numbers say it all.
Yeah.
The goals say it all. You know, McTominay, fastest brace in the Premier League. Bruno has 12 assists, more than any midfielder. And
He's beginning to thrive.
beginning to.
I know. Again, I think I said this to you the
One
last
second.
time.
No, rewind.
No, they called
Rewind,
him, they
rewind.
called
Chal,
him, they called
beginning
him the
to?
penalty specialist.
No,
but
but
I have
what
to say
beginning to?
Bruno's a baller. No, I'm telling you right now, it's
Yeah.
on camera. Bruno's a baller.
Thank
I
you.
accept that. He's a baller. He's been playing fantastically. Like, now you're finally getting to see what Bruno is.
And we won this at home. That was the
Yeah,
best part.
true.
And we've not been our best at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost to you guys of all teams. Like,
Still a highlight of the season.
that was embarrassing.
Yeah, you guys are not even embarrassed
You
about the
won on a
6-1
penalty
drubbing.
once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but y'all are not bothered about the 6-1 drubbing to Tottenham as badly as y'all feel that y'all lost to Arsenal.
And I told you why also off camera. Because now, with the game in hand,
Yeah.
we go above Mourinho.
True.
So, first we were conceding goals. Now
Yeah.
we're scoring a lot.
True.
We're second to Liverpool in terms of goals scored.
Yeah.
And in terms of unbeaten runs as well, they're on 10, we're on 7. We've taken 19 out of the last possible 21 points.
True.
So, and everyone's contributing. And why I say Ole got his tactics right is because he played Fred and McTominay versus a Leeds side.
And can we just give a little bit to McTominay? I think like he deserves a lot of
everything to
praise. Yeah,
McTominay.
like, he deserves a lot of praise, and he probably deserved a hat-trick on that
He
game as
did,
well. Like,
yes,
he worked his
but-
socks off. Do you think a particular Paul Pogba?
Not
is
for
looking
this
at him
game.
wondering.
I wouldn't play a Pogba very rightfully for this game is because you know what Leeds do to opponents. They
Yeah.
outrun you and how.
Yeah.
A Matic and a Pogba was a wrong decision to play together in the last game.
Yeah.
We suffered from that. Playing Fred McTominay because they're full of running, they're full of energy. Dan
There's more
James.
dynamism into their
And
game.
there's Dan
yeah.
James. You called him a one-trick pony. That one trick worked.
It worked. It worked this
That's
time.
all.
It did
but
work
that's
this time.
exactly
yeah.
why I'm saying he finally got a tactic right.
Yeah.
It's not like he went in with momentum or luck or
Yeah.
just pure pace and talent. He actually went into this game with, a tactic of probably outrunning them or even matching them for that matter.
Yeah.
And it was just a contrast from last time where, I switched on the television to see United 1-0 down last time.
Yeah.
And this time, in almost half the time, we were 2-0 up. So I think Leeds, there was no coming back from
Yeah.
2-0 down after 3 minutes. But we just kept piling it on.
What do you think Bielsa should do now? I mean, like after taking such a hiding against United,
He
like
won't,
how are
he
they
won't
going
change.
to?
He's
not
the
gonna
kind of
change?
manager who's not going to change. They're going to continuously run around.
Yeah.
Let's face it, they're everyone's second favorite team in the Premier League.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, they're the neutrals' favorite. Like,
whatever-
just because of
yeah.
Bielsa itself, I guess.
It's
like,
just the football they play. It's fearless. And they had their chances. Take
No, and-
nothing away from them.
And everybody likes also Leeds because back in the day they were also kind of like the bogey team for everyone. They would scare the top 4 teams of
They
back then
scared
as
Liverpool
well.
in the first game.
True.
They gave
Yeah.
Chelsea a scare for a particular amount of time.
Yeah.
Arsenal were lucky to come out with a point against
True,
them.
true, yeah.
And we had our day at Old Trafford after a while. Created a lot of chances. 14 shots. Most since Sir Alex's era. So it's good. I mean, it was a good performance. It was a good win. But again, defensive woes where, they had their chances.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of them.
And 2 goals is okay. A stretch.
If you score 6, you'll concede 2, it's fine.
Yeah,
but
but-
Harrison missed a sitter.
True.
Bamford had a couple of chances. So
Yeah.
defensively, we're still shit.
Yeah.
Let's put it there. De Gea had to pull off a couple of blinders.
Yeah.
So, we're not there yet defensively. I'm not saying we're getting there either.
But would you put that down also to the lack of harmony between maybe Maguire and Lindelof?
I would just put
Is
that down to the lack of brain cells functioning in Maguire's head.
It's too big. That's
Yeah, what did he do against Sheffield? Very good. Stand in front of the goal, ask Henderson for the ball. Guy's making his debut, young keeper, stupid idiot, 80 million. Slap him with
but-
every pile of that money that he gets.
So Maguire is just. That's why I keep saying that I think Lindelof is the more underrated
No,
defender
Lindelof
in the
also,
team. I think he's a lot better compared to Maguire. I would
Lindelof
say.
cannot play a physical game. Lindelof is a very artistic,
Positioning
defender.
guy.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
likes the ball. He can play it around. The moment you put physical pressure on him, he will crumble.
He'll crumble, yeah. He'll fold.
Which is why we need to look at that aspect. Maybe not in the Jan window, but in the next transfer window.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to make do with what we have. We're on a good run. Hopefully, it'll continue. And yeah, Leeds played their part.
Yeah.
So good win for us.
They won 6-2. Now I wonder why I do day drinking.
You're 14th. Shut up.
Slaven Bilic is now the first ever casualty in the ever revolving doors of managers getting sacked. Big Sam has a lot to do at West Brom. 3-0 to Aston Villa.
They just get better and better.
They got better, and again, it's another Jack Grealish appreciation day, I guess, as well. 53.
chances.
Yeah.
And they kept 67% possession.
And West Brom just had one shot. The
And
entire
West
match.
Brom,
One shot.
I feel Big Sam will take time to get the 4-4-2 system running.
Yeah.
So, and they honestly, they don't have the quality that Villa possess this season. So, yeah, Villa were just dominant, which is what you want to see from someone who's come off big wins, you know, Liverpool, Arsenal.
Yeah.
You know, they've come off these big wins. You want them to carry on, not go and lose to a side or draw to a side like West Brom, who are struggling, or draw or lose to a side like Sheffield. And they did exactly that. Like Grealish, I don't know, I kind of loved him in this game. Because just direct approach.
He's just very influential. He's
just
a very
get the ball, direct
player.
approach. There's no turning back.
And where do you get to see players like that nowadays who just charge at you?
Yeah, exactly.
They're fearless, you know. And Grealish is that guy who has that fearless angle to him. Like, so yeah, I love him as well. I think he's a fantastic player.
He drops deep. He even dropped deep in this game to get the ball, and then he just ran at defenders. He only looked forward because, I mean, it was the right attitude. West Brom is hurting. They're bleeding.
Yeah.
You know, take them on. They're weak.
But do you think, like right now, I'm pretty sure Sam Allardyce is probably the cleaning lady after Led Zeppelin has left the hotel room. So he's got a big mess ahead of him. Like,
I still feel they'll stay up because of him.
You think like, he is a miracle worker. He is a guy like he's your go-to guy when you have to like save your team from relegation. But do you think there would be a lot of intricate changes? Do they have to invest in January? Or do you think he has to just revamp the team?
No, they will have to invest in January. I think he has to keep hold of Gallagher.
Okay.
He's one of his best players.
Yeah.
Needs to keep him injury free, and he needs to manage him well during these crunch games because he was the only spark of energy they had.
Yeah.
Running around, closing down, even at 2-0 or 3-0 down.
Yeah.
Livermore, for an experienced player getting sent off.
Again, that was probably another brain fart that happened to him.
Exactly.
Like,
so this is going to happen.
Yeah.
With the times around, no crowds, COVID, crunch games.
Yeah.
You're going to have such situations that are going to come up. But for me, he has to keep Gallagher fit.
Yeah.
And he has to probably have Matty Phillips play some better football.
And
or probably the final product has to be better.
Would the aging backline also be a problem?
Yeah, I mean, who buys Branislav Ivanovic?
Yeah. I mean, prime Branislav Ivanovic.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
He was great, but not now.
Not now.
Their keeper, probably their saving grace. But apart from that, it was all Villa.
Yeah.
El Ghazi,
brace, yeah.
Traore, beautiful.
Just finish, yeah.
Passing it into the corner.
And I think Anwar El Ghazi is going to be on everyone's FPL.
Yeah, everyone's going to buy him and then he's going to bench him and it's going to be like 15 minutes, 1 point. And Martinez, Emiliano Martinez. How have we not spoken about him?
Well, he got me points though. He did get me points again. I'm not going to lie, but it's nice to see players like this again thriving under that kind of leadership of Grealish.
And he's getting game time and he's proving his worth.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of
Target,
confidence.
Cash, Konsa, Mings. They're having field days out. McGinn's another
also,
player.
Yeah.
So these things, and they've shuffled it around. They've benched Trezeguet, they've gotten Traore. It's working. It's working for Villa.
Maybe it's the luck of the Irish.
Probably. Okay, I have a question.
Dilly potatoes.
If you still had Emiliano Martinez, would you consider going into a game with 2 goalkeepers?
Moving on. Burnley's made it 4 unbeaten so far and they're out of the relegation zone. 2-1 victory over Wolves.
They win the next one, they're above Arsenal also.
I know. It's
but yeah, bad time for Wolves.
No, again, Ashley Barnes finally broke his duck. He was also going through quite a drought as well, and it was a good game so far. Like, I mean, I feel sorry for a team like Wolves. They're very hot and cold this season. They blitzkrieg against teams like Chelsea, and then they drop down to games like Burnley. Like, there's no consistency, I think, when it comes to Wolves.
Do you put this on the fact that, they're a very new team, or is that phase gone? I think 14 games enough for a team to gel?
No, I just think it's that they're lacking a guy like Jimenez right now up front. Like, I mean,
Fabio Silva didn't do too badly.
Fabio Silva did really well, being for a young goal scorer that he is, but...
Youngest rather for Wolves.
The youngest, yeah. But you also to see there's going to be a lot of pressure on people like Podence and Neto to keep bringing back that same kind of form.
Because there's no other attacking threat.
There's no other attacking threat. Like, and unless you expect you throw in Collar Cody like to just jump up and just clump everything.
Baby oil man will come, no.
Probably, but it was still a really good win by Burnley. They're a team that's on the up right now. They're actually feeling a feel-good factor. It's going to be a really good Christmas for them at least.
But there was an analysis, in the post-game where they said that Burnley, being the team they are, good in the air, for the second goal, they actually won the first ball, the second ball and the third ball. And the first 2 were in the air. So, I mean, they played to their strength and they got the points.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to work against, all teams.
It won't work against all teams, but Sean Dyche, I'm pretty sure, has a plan implemented against every team that he plays for. He kind of knew that people like Neto and Podence are going to come at them. So he's one guy who plays really good defensive football when it comes to Burnley.
Very organized.
Organized defensive football. Like, call it anti-football for you will, if you have to. Like,
I think it's not anti-football.
no, but if you see, Burnley is not exactly a very exciting team when you hear about their style of football. They've been very, how do you say, bland, very vanilla when it comes to their football. Yes, they're great up front. They have decent players like Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes. And of course, I'm a big fan of that guy Dwight McNeil. He's a really good player as well. But you would always picture Burnley as a defensive team more. And like to get a win at Turf Moor at home like that too, just after having the run that they've had from the start of the season has been great.
So fair result.
Fair result. I mean, unfortunate for Wolves. Again, they're being very hot and cold. They're going to have to find the right kind of balance. And if they have to, pinch the pocket during January and try and get another replacement for Jimenez, that would be great.
London derby, 3-0 Chelsea, without their regular wing-backs.
Yeah.
That was what was one of the main aspects of that game.
Yeah.
You didn't have a Reece James. You had an able replacement in Azpilicueta.
Yeah.
A more than able replacement rather. He was defensively, I think he was perfect apart from just one challenge which probably skipped past.
Yeah.
Or he misread a tackle.
Yeah.
But they lost Chilwell early. Emerson came on, who I do not rate at all. But Chelsea were just dominant in that first 25 minutes.
They were dominant, but it wasn't exactly a very fun game to watch because it was a goal up. I mean, Thiago Silva again coming with his experience as a goal-scoring defender again, cropping up, and Chelsea again scoring from set pieces. I think they're one of the best right now, the most with more set pieces goals, I guess.
They are the team that has scored more goals or put in more crosses than any other team.
Yeah.
And West Ham are the team that have not conceded rather until the last game from a cross.
Yeah.
So it was a good battle to have.
Oh yeah, of course.
And Chelsea not conceding from that, the cross aspect is because you have a Thiago Silva who is actually, mentoring a Zuma positionally, and we all know how strong and good in the air Zuma is.
Oh yeah.
And Thiago
Zuma's
Silva, goal scoring, I mean, he scored more in Chelsea than he scored in his last 3 seasons for PSG. But then again, after 30 odd minutes till about 75 minutes, it was all West Ham.
Yeah.
Chelsea they just saturated.
I think the game kind of just turned it on its head once Abraham was introduced. And I mean, again, like a fox in the box kind of a situation. Even that last goal, it was more of Pulisic actually going for it than Abraham just mopping it up at the end.
But he started the move.
Oh yeah,
so for the first 30 minutes, Tammy Abraham was quiet.
Yeah.
He wasn't really involved too much in play. It was a lot on the wings, and it was a lot to do with Azpilicueta, Mason Mount, Jorginho, and Kante keeping the ball with them.
True.
But then, second half, probably when West Ham pushed, he got a little more space.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say this, but for me, the reason for the defeat was Mark Noble. While he's very experienced and he has a footballing brain, etc., 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 he's not played. You can't throw him into a game where Chelsea is wounded. Chelsea is going to come at you. They've lost their last 2 games.
Yeah.
You're playing against Kante and you're playing against Mason Mount, who will run circles around someone like Mark Noble.
True.
And then again, Mark Noble wasn't sitting to give freedom to Declan Rice and Souček. Mark Noble was the furthest ahead. So in a counter-attack, you have Mark Noble and Aller.
Yeah.
They both do not have pace.
We were talking about Aller. I think Aller is trying to play that false 9 role. He's a big imposing guy, but he's no Mikel Antonio. Let's call us
A Mikel Antonio would have been a completely different game.
Completely different game.
Because that Kante chance would have been converted.
True, and even the Declan Rice goal probably
that was not off.
Yeah, that was not off.
That was not off.
They kind of got lucky with that as well, I would say. Like, Declan Rice's run was timed properly, I would say. And in my opinion,
it's again your the whole armpit,
the shoulder,
and they VAR took a call with the naked eye. I was watching the broadcast. There were no lines.
True.
So, and it was a well-taken goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the Bowen goal, probably soft, but okay, you can give that. Thiago Silva using his experience.
Again.
But it would have been a different game with West Ham 1-0 up.
Yeah.
They've been
I would say also, I think maybe Moyes didn't have much on his bench that he had to put someone like Noble, or maybe the emotional attachment that Moyes, because Moyes is a coach that kind of plays with his heart on his sleeve as well. If you've seen him with Everton, maybe also his ill-fated time in Man United. But have you noticed that he has this likenesses of keeping a really good central midfielder? He probably thought that in Noble, even though Noble's super, super old and he's probably been out of the game for a while.
Yeah.
But he probably saw a Fellaini in him.
But it's a simple logic. It's why break what's working?
Why break what's working?
You have a Ben Rama who's played brilliantly in the last
Yeah.
game after coming on.
Yeah.
You have Fornals, you have Bowen, you have Aller, whom you're playing as a striker. Okay, but you still
Yeah.
have a striker. You have the firepower. Why are you playing a Mark Noble in a game where you know that the team has outrun someone like Leeds?
It could probably just be on a case of
But it
what's
didn't
not
help.
much in
It
the bench.
didn't help. The chances
didn't
West
help.
Ham had
It did, yeah.
were diluted because there was a Mark Noble over there.
True.
You
The
know?
philosophy, I mean, I think he went with the philosophy that Mark Noble would work this team out right, but it backfired completely.
And Lampard, I mean,
His
spot
intentions were
on
good.
with his tactics because
Yeah.
he didn't start Giroud knowing that he did not have a Reece James. And
Yeah.
Azpilicueta will not give you what a Reece James will give you.
True.
Defensively, he'll give you more,
Yeah.
but he won't put
No
in those
dynamism.
crosses.
Yeah.
There are no crosses. You
Yeah.
know, unlucky with Chilwell going off.
True.
It was nothing.
My
It was-
FPL went for a toss on
yeah,
that
but
one.
if you saw it, like they said, you know, it's you can get injured now in
Yeah.
any fashion.
True.
It was Bowen just switching the ball from left to right, his leading leg. Chilwell wasn't even looking.
True.
So it was not a dominant performance by Chelsea, but
Yeah.
probably the win they needed. You know, there's
Win's
still
a win.
there's still a drift, you know, from Liverpool.
Yeah.
They had their blip in the middle. West Ham can consider this as a blip with
Yeah.
the run they've been on.
Yeah.
But Moyes probably needs to, you know, just address this Noble issue because that even took
Probably.
away from the fact that Souček had to stay deeper. Souček could not make those runs into the box.
And Souček is actually one of their best scoring midfielders right now.
He's the
Yeah.
best guy in the air.
Yeah,
you replace
true.
an Aller with Souček in the air with the chances they got,
Yeah.
that would have been 1-1.
True.
You know, and credit to Tammy, he's got, you know, the most goals for Chelsea since
And they're
last
only going to
season.
get forward because their next opponents are
Oh,
not going to
yeah.
be ready for
Beautiful.
them. So, yeah.
Liverpool sit pretty on top. Mane, Salah, Firmino, assist and score for the same time in the Premier League. Liverpool concede 7, United concede 6 in the same week. They score 7 and they score 6 in the same week.
Christmas miracles everywhere.
Great round of football. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, leave your comments in the section below. Follow us on Instagram.
And from all of us at All Balls, we'd like to wish each and every person a very Merry Christmas and look forward to the next episode.
Stay safe.
Cheers.